Hi, welcome back to Football and High Heels Presents. I'm Sammy, the host and owner of Football and High Heels, and we're back to discuss what's become one of my favorite topics of the year, the Rio Olympics. And Colleen and Katrina are both back with me. Ladies, it's been crazy this past week. First of all, I just want to give another shout out to the people in swimming. I've been obsessed with watching them. Absolutely amazing. Gold in both relays. Michael Phelps has like 22 gold medals to his name right now. Katie Ledecky, Maya. Oh my God, everybody's absolutely amazing. What do you think? Very quickly before we get to the gymnastics.
I started crying last night during Michael Phelps' last race because
He's retiring.
he's my age, and like when I was competing, like the Sydney Olympics were supposed to be like my Olympics that I got to go to. I clearly didn't make it. But it was like to think he's been doing that long. Like Sydney was his first Olympics, and
Oh wow.
he's retiring, and it's depressing. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
I know, it's so upsetting, but he did retire before and he came back, so maybe there's a wee bit chance he'll come back, but I doubt it. He has a new
I don't
daddy,
think
he's
he
getting
will.
married, yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't think he is either. What about you, Katrina? Do you think he's coming back?
I don't know. I kind of hate swimming. I think it's boring. So
Tell us how you really feel now, girl.
it's kind of like track and field to me. Like I don't understand it. But it's funny because people say the same thing. I'm a huge horse racing fan, and people say the same thing about horse racing. So yeah, swimming bores me. So
We all have our sports we like and we don't like, but I try to watch it all and keep an open mind. But I understand how people feel that way. But sometimes with the swimming, it looks like they're just splashing in the water, and I'm like, really?
I love swimming. I wish I
I
could be
know,
that
it's so much
fast.
fun. I know. I wish I could look that good. Jeez, do you see the muscles on those people?
Well, I mean, they're
Absolutely.
Olympians, so
Yeah, exactly. They probably live in a gym. Probably have like a blanket and pillow, at the side of a gym somewhere. I wish I could do that,
yeah.
but I have to actually work and, make money and stuff, so not happening.
True story.
So, going back to what we came here for, the gymnastics, oh my gosh, it's been absolutely amazing. And more history being made. And one more thing, going back to swimming real quick, Simone Manuel making history, first black
Yes.
woman win gold. Amazing. Congratulations. But we made history in gymnastics yet again. Let's talk about that.
Lots of history.
Oh gosh, I
Um,
can't believe it.
yeah, we can start with the women's all-around finals. Obviously, Simone won. That's not a surprise. Ali got silver, also not a surprise. And Aliyah Mustafina got the bronze. Again, not a huge shock, but just lots of history being made that night. Simone broke the curse that has been on the reigning world champions. She's the first reigning world champion to win the Olympic gold medal since 1996 when the Lepotkaeva of Ukraine won. And Mustafina is the first woman to win back-to-back medals in the all-round since Simona Amanar of Romania, and that was in 96 and 2000. So,
Wow.
and Ali just made me cry like a tiny baby.
Oh yeah, I cried too. I cried through the whole thing. Oh, the whole thing was absolutely amazing. And just watching history being made. I mean, some people think, not to get political, this is the first and last political thing I'll ever say on my show, I promise. We're watching history being made in politics right now, but I think real history is also being made in gymnastics because we're changing the world when it comes to
Yeah.
sports. I mean, both Simones actually are making history, and they are also showing women and young girls how, if you work hard, you can achieve your dreams. And I want my goddaughter to watch these girls and be like, because
Mhm.
of her, I can achieve my dreams. So,
Yeah.
shout out to them.
I think it's
Hmm.
also nice that all three medalists were late teens, early 20s. Like I think that's
Yeah.
more important to me. A bigger
Oh, absolutely.
that it's not just a little girl sport anymore. That these are women and that
They look like women too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out. I mean, I've been watching gymnastics since back in the day. Remember how tiny Mary Lou Retton and Nadia Comaneci, they were like teeny, teeny, tiny. I remember reading both biographies. They were on strict diets and stuff. And now these
Well,
girls, they're,
Nadia was only 14.
yes,
Nadia
exactly. She was
was a
so,
little girl. She was 14, so just as fun.
yes, but it's, oh, well, thank you for sharing that. You know, we're stripping on football and high heels now.
It just keeps falling off my shoulder, and I want it to look like I'm like wearing something.
Well, thank you for that.
You know.
We'll save you not for football and high heels after dark. But
Oh my
anyway,
goodness.
I remember reading her biography a few years back, and it was like she was on such a strict diet, and now these girls, they look so
Mhm.
healthy looking. They're not the stick figures that they used to. And I believe it was Shannon Miller back in her day. It was over for her because she shot out, up and out, I suppose you could want to say, and they wouldn't let her do it because she didn't have the right body type. And now these girls come in all shapes and sizes, and I think that's another important thing to remember because anyone can do gymnastics as long as they're determined. It's like I feel like the body type has changed as well. Have you ladies noticed that? Colleen, I noticed that you were a gymnast. Have you noticed the way the body image has changed in the sport?
I don't know. I think body image has changed like into a more positive thing. And it's become a little bit more Americanized. Like a lot of Eastern European countries and like the Chinese and Asian countries, I don't know about them. I'm just guessing. I feel like they probably still, have the weights in the scales in the locker room where you have to like check your weight and everything. But I know USA Gymnastics has made a real push to bring, a healthier side to the nutrition aspect of the sport because you can't succeed if you're starving yourself or if you have major psychological issues. So I just feel like it's become a lot more body conscious, but in a positive way. That the girls do
Exactly.
so. But yeah, I think it's also just because the minimum age requirement has been raised to 16. So they really aren't little girls anymore. At 16, you have to be 16 to compete in the Olympics. So you're changing the way that you train and you're changing the way and the time that you peak in your career. So it's why people can be 22 like Ali Raceman and Ali Mustavina and still be winning all-around medals and still look good enough to keep competing.
Yep. Colleen, I wanted to ask you about that rule because they were
Exactly. And
making
I'm
comment.
really happy with all the change.
Colleen, I wanted to ask you about that rule because you made some comment during vault finals that about Shallon Olsen and about how her birthday was like a month too soon and that you had to be 16 during the Olympics.
No, it's 16 the year of the Olympics.
That's what I thought. And so they were like, yeah, okay. I thought that was the rule, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it might have been like, no, because she is a baby, isn't she?
Shallon, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
she's 16, but she's just barely 16.
yeah. No, because I mean, like, Reagan Smith didn't turn 16 until last week, and she was an alternate. Like, you have to be 16 by December 31st.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So, I'll bring us back a little bit to our
But
history
yeah, getting
making
back to
history making night for the women. I feel like the top 10 were the most diverse group of top 10 finishers. We had Ellie Black from Canada, and she was in fifth place, and it was the highest finish ever for a Canadian woman. Jessica Lopez of Venezuela finished 7th, and that's the highest finish for a Venezuelan. And Jessica's highest finish in an all-around final. She finally like put 4 for 4 together, and that's really exciting because she's 31 and it's probably her last Olympics. I don't know. Asuka Teramoto from Japan finished 8th, and it was the highest placement for a Japanese woman in 60 years. Who is next? Oh, Ithora Thorsdottir of the Netherlands had the highest Dutch finish at 9th place, and Julia Streingrumer of Switzerland was 10th place all around. She made history in London when she placed 14th and was the highest Swiss finisher, and now she beat her own record, and she finished 10th, and that was really exciting. But less happy history. This is kind of sad history. Seda Tudkalian, I think that's how we say it. I forget. She basically had like a bronze medal in her hand. She was virtually tied with Mustafina going into floor, and she's a stronger floor worker. But she fell 3 times on floor and scored a 10, which is not a good thing anymore. And she went
Ouch.
from 4th place in the all-round to 22nd, and I think that's the largest drop ever.
So,
Yeah, I think so too.
In
Poor
all-around
thing. I feel
finals,
so bad for
which
her.
it was so sad to watch. So that was sad history. But
I do want to say Jessica Lopez's finish was the highest ever for a South American woman.
nice. I love J-Lo.
I noticed that
She-
too. I was going to point
she's
that
my
out as well,
J-Lo.
and it's incredible to have that history.
Yeah. And yeah, because Andrade was what, like 11th place?
Yeah, I think so. 11th, 12th.
11th or 12th, yeah. And that was with the Brazilian. I do have a little update. Jade Barbosa, who competed in placing Flavia Sarajeeva, she was injured in the second rotation on floor, but she didn't finish the all-around competition, which was sad because she's had so many injuries in the past and has come back. But there was a statement released that she's fine. It was just a twisted ankle on a scary fall, and she's like good to resume training. It was her only all-around. It was her only event final or only final to compete in. But she can go back to training, and she's healthy and fine. No like
Good,
bad
good.
injury.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. It would be
So-
horrible if her career ended as she was trying to medal. And I feel so bad she had to pull out, but at least she
Yeah.
could still compete again.
Yes, if she wants to. I don't know
If she
what
wants
her,
to, of course.
I don't know what her plans are.
Yeah, she hasn't
trying to
really
think.
said
I know
anything about what
I know
she's
she was
doing.
in London. Was she in? This might be her third game. She might have been in Beijing and London.
Yeah,
So
she
she's
was.
getting up there. Yeah.
But she's an
Um,
individual because Brazil didn't qualify. Wait, did Brazil qualify? No, they qualified as full team for London, but not for Beijing.
Yeah. Mhm. So we'll see what her plans are post Rio.
It'll be interesting to see what she decides to do with her career.
Yeah.
She
And
does.
a little tiny bit of controversy in the all-round standings. Shang Chunsong of China came in a devastating 4th place. She was also 4th place in the all-around last year at World Championships. And I think she was like 4th place on floor. She's had like a string of 4th place finishes. And she came in 4th place behind Mustafina by just over a 10th. And Mustafina on beam didn't do an acro series, a flight series on beam, which is 2 like flipping skills connected. So it's an automatic 5/10 deduction. And she had other form breaks. I mean, she did not score well. And she had some issues on floor, Aaliyah did, falling out of turns, again, not making connections, so she didn't get really high start values. She still managed to pull out that bronze medal. And And Shang, like, she had basically the meat of her life, and there's a lot of people saying, they should have contested Mustafa in his score, and it was heartbreaking to see her, like, sitting there, like, visibly upset, crying, because she knew that she really gave it her all. I mean, obviously nothing can be done now because it was 2 days ago, but it was just a little disappointing to be like, you messed up these two events and you still managed to get this medal. So
it's all reputation, and it's really frustrating to me because, especially after the week that Shang has had, it kind of annoyed me, and I was like, especially the beam thing. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just annoyed about that.
I was annoyed until I saw Shang's vault. She only does a full twisting Yurchenko, and she does not do it well. She does it like a bad Division II gymnast. It gets no power, no flight. The landing is scary. So it's sort of like even it out, but at the same time, it's like you didn't do an acro series. It's a required series.
Yeah. I think it's more
so it really...
the credit she got on floor for her turns. Yeah, technically her foot was still up, but she didn't complete them, and that's kind of my big thing. Like, she got credit for those turns, and
she got credit for a lot of things. Yeah.
That she shouldn't have. Yeah, it's...
That was disappointing. It kind of marred it, but Simone and Allie going 1 and 2 and like making my life complete. It's like whatever.
That was absolutely amazing.
I don't care who wins bronze.
Yeah, pretty much. I was the same way. Like, yes, our girls made it. Oh my god,
Yeah,
it was just watching. I'm tearing up just thinking about it again. Oh my goodness.
It took me a while, like, to compose myself. So
yeah, I was following your Facebook post, and I was like, yes, I feel the exact same way.
So yeah, that was really great, and I feel like it's just, it wasn't even like the high for the week for the United States because it just keeps continuing the momentum. I wish that the men could have a little of that momentum because they definitely needed it in their all-round finals. But
yeah, they did.
I almost enjoyed watching the men's all-around finals more than the women because there was so much anticipation. So in the men's all-around finals, Kohei Uchimura, Oleg Vernayev, and Max Whitlock went 1, 2, 3 on the podium. Kohei made history. It's the first time anyone's won back-to-back gold medals in the all-around, and he did it, and it was really awesome. But Oleg Vernayev gave him a run for his money. It literally came down to the last event, the last skill. He didn't stick the landing, and Vernayev lost the gold.
Oh,
and it was
wow, yes,
so
that was horrible.
Intense. It was less than a tenth, and I was like freaking out. And then Max Whitlock of Great Britain got the bronze medal, which was super exciting because it was the first time in 108 years that a British man has been on the all-around podium. So that was really exciting. Our men did not do that well. They kind of did as expected.
Yeah, I was gonna say. How do I put this nicely?
But
I know, right?
I mean, Sam. I feel so bad saying this. Sam actually, I feel like, did better than expected. I expected him to implode and be down in 22nd place. And the first his first 3 routines, I was like, yep, there he goes. Bye, Sam. It was nice knowing you. And all of a sudden, he pulls out a 15-7 on P bars and a mid 15 on high bar, and he went from 16th place to 7th place. And had it not been for a really bad vault landing, he could have been on the medal podium. He'd scored a point less in team finals on vault than he did in all-round finals, and if he'd done the same vault in team finals, he would have been 1/100th of a tenth behind Max Whitlock.
Wow. Isn't that incredible the way the
So,
scoring works with stuff like this? Wow.
so if Sam could get his head together and maybe get a little bit like, I mean this in the nicest possible way because I wanted to help him. I think he needs like a sports psychologist to like get him through this because it's not like once or twice that he's done this. It's every single time he's in a big competition, he implodes.
You know,
I've noticed that too.
well, and it's interesting to look at because when he was at Michigan, it wasn't this bad. Like, it's weird, and I'm wondering why. And he needs to go see Simone's sports psychologist, please.
And I mean that we've talked about this before. The men's program needs a change. Someone I know had said that the men only train like they compete for like 2 days. They don't do the marathon training sessions like the women do. So they don't have the stamina to compete for, you know, a 2-week period. And they don't have the discipline to let their muscles like relax and get back into like the right place that they need to be. It's just a lot of things need to change for the United States to really be a threat for any medals. Maybe not any medals, but like a team medal or an all-around medal. Because we did win a medal today on the men's side, and I was very excited, and I cried like a baby again. I feel like this has been the most emotional Olympics for me.
I feel
like
that way
every
too.
day,
I don't know what it is.
Every day I'm crying about something. Between Ledecky like freaking winning by half a pool, or Simone and Allie going 1-2, and even when the United States won their team final by 8.5 points, I was like, oh my god, this is the best moment of my life.
Yeah,
and then
I know.
It was, you know, like final 5, and I was like, oh my god, this is the saddest time of my life.
God, it's just been such an emotional
lots
time.
Of conflicting emotions too, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Why do they get so emotional this time around? Is it because so much history is being made and we're so into the sports that we just feel it along with them? Or is it just because it's just everything going on that...
I was pretty invested in London, but I feel like I'm even more like... This is so sad because I don't know these people. I feel like I'm even more like emotionally invested in our Team USA like this time around, and I don't know why. It's just probably because I'm getting older, and I'm like, what have I done with my life? Absolutely nothing. I don't have an Olympic medal.
An amazing life, girl. But no, I am exactly where you're coming from, because I feel the same way.
Sorry. So do we want to talk about the event finals today that went down today? Again,
yes, definitely.
Legit
oh my goodness.
History. It was so exciting. So exciting. Woo.
Yeah, you girls got to fill me in on this because I was at work and my boss doesn't appreciate me trying to live stream the Olympics. But so got to fill me in what happened.
Your
I
boss
keep hearing
needs to get
somebody
with the
basically.
program.
I know. I mean, I love my boss. Don't get me wrong.
I'll write you a note.
Please excuse Sammy from work. She has to watch the Olympics.
It's just extend your lunch break.
Yeah, true. I was trying to watch on my lunch break. So don't get me wrong. I do love my job. I do love my boss. But I wish I could watch the Olympics instead and get paid for it.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome. Best
I know.
job ever.
Right? Oh my goodness. So tell me what happened.
I'll touch on the men's floor X. Oh my god. Oh, that was gonna make me cry. I'm like thinking about it. So Max Whitlock of the bronze medal in the all-round won the gold medal on floor for the men, and it was the first time a British man has won a gold medal in gymnastics. So that was really exciting, and he just looked so happy. But the thing that makes me even more excited is that Diego Hippolito and Arthur Mariano or Arthur Nori went silver and bronze. They are both from Brazil, and it was such a historic day. It was Brazil's first floor medals. They do have one other Olympic medal. Last Olympics in London, Arthur Zanetti won gold on rings, and he will actually be competing again tomorrow on rings, trying to defend his title. But yeah, Diego, this is his third Olympics. It was his third try. And he has a couple of world championship medals under his belt, but he finally won that elusive Olympic medal. And it was just so special to watch because when I think he went up like second or third, and it was like that was a really good routine. I hope it holds because the lineup was just so stacked, and oh my God, it was a thing of beauty watching his tumbles. But so his score held, and then Arthur Nori, who little fun fact, Arthur Nori is Simone Biles' Brazilian boyfriend. They're like best friends. They're not real like boyfriend girlfriend, but they're like obsessed with each other, and they found each other in the Olympic Village and were taking pictures together, and it was just super cute. But yeah, he's very new to the Brazilian gymnastics scene. It's his first Olympics. I think it's his first major like competition, and he got a bronze. Was he at Worlds?
Yeah, I think he was at Worlds.
Okay. But he got a bronze on floor, and again, it was a little unexpected because our American men were going in ranked 1 and 2, and Kenzo Shirai, who is like a freaking spinning top, he scored over a 16 in team finals, which is like unheard of. And obviously Max Whitlock and Kohei Uchimura was in that final. It was his only event final, which was kind of a shock, but he had a rough day in prelims. But lots of mistakes were made, and the Brazilians really took advantage of it. And I know the Brazilian crowd worked to their advantage, not really anyone else's advantage. I think Jake Dalton could have done, if he had gone up later in the lineup and was able to like calm himself a little bit, I think he could have done a little bit better. He was like the Energizer Bunny and just like hopped out of each tumble. So you look at it, it's like he probably, out of his 5 tumbles, I think he probably had over 1.5 points in just landing deductions. Everything else Jake does is divine. He has like perfect toe point, great lines. But he didn't get a bad score. He didn't get a great score, so he didn't wind up on the podium. He got 6th place. And oh Sam. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh Sam.
Now, was he the one that everybody was like booing him or something like that? Like I said, I was trying to catch up on my lunch break, but I kept hearing something about that. Can somebody explain that to me?
He was going, and he
was last up.
Yeah, and so the Brazilians' 2 scores were holding. He went up and he landed really in a deep squat out of one of his passes, and like the crowd started.
First pass, yeah.
And then he made another little mistake, and they were cheering again for him to make these mistakes, and that pissed me off.
Oh yeah, I would be pissed off about that too.
So
yeah.
I mean, yes, Sam can be a head case, but I think if that's the first time you're hearing somebody actively cheer for you to make a mistake, I think that's a little. I give him a little, pass about that because that's hard to hear.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's just like bullying right there.
That's where I feel almost the opposite. Like, I know that a lot of people say when they're competing, they don't hear the crowds. They like get in their zone. Like Simone has said that. She's like, I tune everything else out, and it's just like me and my routine. And I mean, I feel like the men need that. They need to be able to just tune everything else out, not think about anything. It's just you and your routine and do what you do in practice. And I don't know if this is how the men practice, but for Sam to be like that good in prelims and like it's just slowly each competition day he's gotten just a little bit worse. So it makes me a little wary for his high bar routine on Tuesday because it's the end of a long 2 weeks of competition, and I just don't know that he has the stamina for it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really worried about him too about that. I mean, like you said, he seems to be getting worse, and I wonder what's going on. And I think you're right. He does need to see a sports psychologist, or at least have someone to talk to figure out why he keeps head
Yeah.
casing, as we put it. But it bothers me because he is such a good guy, and I just really hope he can get through this because I do like him a lot, and I would love to see him succeed.
Yeah.
yeah. The thing that got me was seeing Arthur on the floor in a fetal
Oh my
position.
God, that was so cute. I just started crying then. And then Diego's reaction too, because he knew whatever happened with Sam, he was guaranteed at least a bronze medal.
Yeah.
And so he was like crying first because I mean, this has been 12 years in the making for him,
Yeah.
you know? So it's just been so much, and to finally he's older than we are. I mean, he's in his, I guess he might be my age. He's like 32 or 33. And to like hang on for that long and finally have that, it's really really exciting. Um, but I'll go really quickly to the pommel horse because we don't have to talk a lot about that. I'll just touch Alex Nador, USA, go USA, got the
Yay!
bronze, and it was a little unexpected. He qualified sixth into the finals, and he went up like third, and his score held, and it was just super exciting because he said, and John Horton said this on the stream, that he was an alternate in 2012, obviously left empty-handed, and he was like, I'm not going to the Olympics again and leaving empty-handed. Because he was in London, he got to train a little bit and watch everyone and watch them, muff it up there too. And then they messed up team finals, and this is his one shot. They brought him for this pommel horse routine, and he didn't really deliver in any of his routines. I mean, he did enough in prelims to make the final, but to do like the best routine of your life in an Olympic final and win a bronze medal for yourself and a little bit for your wife, because I still think Holly Weiss should have been on the 2004 team, but that's another story. Um, like to have that, it was just so exciting. And Max Whitlock is Magic Max. He won gold again, 2 golds one day. He's like Simone, but only for pommel horse and floor. But yeah, he won gold again. And then Louis Smith, also of Great Britain, won silver. And it makes me laugh because Louis is a big douchebag. And he did not have good sportsmanship when he saw that his teammate, his countryman, beat him. So
I didn't hear about this. What
Louis
happened? What
Smith,
did he do?
Louis Smith, he went into London as the favorite to win, and didn't. I mean, he did what he could do, but he got silver and pitched a big fit and was like, I should have gotten gold. And he's just always had a little bit of an attitude about it. He has the weird man bun, which is like douche city anyways. And then he had a little bit of a Twitter controversy this year. He posted a picture of Carly Patterson's butt from the 2004 Olympic Games when she was 16, and said, there are some good things about my sport. And people back were like, dude, she was 16 when this picture was taken.
That's a little illegal, first of all, and second of all, yeah.
I mean, it was she was wearing a leotard, but like it was a really high cut leotard. I don't know if you've seen some of those pictures, but it was like,
yeah, it's having over just
for the
like,
fits, girl.
yeah, but it doesn't give him the right to say something like that.
Well, when people started criticizing him, he was like, calm down, I know her. We're friends. And people were like, that doesn't make it okay for you to A, objectify a woman that way, and B, post a picture and say that stuff about someone who was at the time 16.
Yeah,
and
if someone did that to me, I would punch him in the face.
Right? And then his reaction to winning a silver medal again, because guess what? He was ranked number 2 behind his teammate going into finals. I mean, he needs an attitude adjustment. He needs to like disappear from gymnastics scene and I just don't like him. So I'm glad that he lost the gold.
Yeah, I don't like when people act like that. It's just, first of all, the silver medal, the controversy, that's just not right. It's just like, be grateful you won and accept it with dignity, and to objectify women like that, that's never okay. And there's absolutely no excuse for having a man bun. Sorry, you lose.
No.
Well,
Unless you're Thor.
Or that dude from Mulan, the cartoon guy.
The cartoon guy from Mulan.
Well, and then he was like, people were saying you should take it down because he wasn't taking down the picture because it was on his Instagram. And he was like, I can put whatever I want on my Instagram. And he actually asked, like, tweeted at Carly Patter saying, is this okay for me to have this picture? And she kind of, like, laughed about it and was like, yeah, it's fine. It was so awkward.
But, yeah, it was a really weird situation. And gross.
And
yeah,
the
absolutely.
British Federation did, like, reprimand him for it.
Yes, they did. Thankfully.
Yeah.
Thankfully, yes, definitely. And speaking of the Olympic Federation, I heard someone else got ejected from the Olympics. Did anyone hear about that? It was one of the women, I forget where she was from, but one of the runners for doping. Did anyone hear about
the Russian.
Yes,
the Russian girl.
Yeah, I missed what her name was.
She said she is appealing it because, and the reason that she wasn't ejected at first is because she lives and trains in the United States, so she isn't really under the control of the Russian Federation. She just competes for them. So that's all that I really read about it. So she is trying to appeal the decision, but that's all I know.
I didn't hear much about it. It was a late breaking news before we came on, but I'm really curious to see what happens and if she is able to appeal it.
You know what she came up positive?
Yeah.
Did she what, honey?
What now?
You know what she tested positive for?
They just said doping. It didn't get very specific.
I don't know that she actually did test positive. It was just because she's a part of the Russian Federation.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like 2 in 1 Olympics. Is that unusual? Because I never really paid attention to people getting ejected before, and I guess now since I'm following it so much for the show, I keep hearing about it. And this is the second person. Does this happen? Has this happened before, or
third person to get ejected?
Third? Who was it? Oh no, it was Yuri. It was this young lady, and who was the third one?
One of the guys he got ejected for sexual harassment. Within,
I didn't hear that one.
Days. Yeah.
Yeah, shocking. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
And the whole thing with the Russian ejections, it's just been a big mess. They've been investigating these doping claims since like 2014. That's how long the investigation's been going on, and I think they're going back as far as like the Beijing Olympics for like and retesting, and it's been a massive cover-up by the Russian Federation, mainly in their track and field events, but they had to retest like all of their Russian athletes from all of the Olympics, Winter and Summer Games, and they didn't even announce that they would allow. They were considering banning all of Russia from competing in the Rio Games. They didn't announce until the day before opening ceremonies that they would allow. They weren't going to put a blanket ban on it. No one could compete in track and field from Russia except for this one girl. And then they said it was up to the sports own governing bodies to declare whether the Russians could compete. So like for the gymnasts to be able to compete, the IOC said they could, but then the FIG also had to give them the go-ahead to compete. And it was like the day before qualifications that FIG finally came out and said, yes, Russians, you can compete. So they were like on the planes to Rio, not sure if they were going to be able to compete, and like going to all of these training practices, not sure if they were going to be able to compete. So that was a really weird situation.
Well, and the IOC has blanketly banned the entire Russian Federation from the Paralympic Games.
Yes.
Which are
I had heard about that too.
Rio, following the able-bodied games.
How are they testing everybody from Summer and Winter Olympics? I mean, is this stuff still in their system, even though it could be years ago? How are they do? That's what I don't understand.
It's urine
Oh,
sample.
they still have the samples, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Because I was gonna say, are they gonna go back in time or something? I mean, come on now. It just seems so weird the way that the way they worded it. It was just like made absolutely no sense. But I could see them going back to the samples. That makes more sense.
So at least, so from what I know from figure skating, they are tested at least twice, each athlete. So they have 2 different samples from 2 different time periods, and those samples are kept, and they test them then, and then they go back and retest them. I forgot what the time frame is. So that's why Sochi is actually, I think it's every 2 years they go back and retest. So that's why Sochi is coming back into play right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, I gotcha. Because I was gonna say that just seems really weird, and I have no idea how you're gonna pull it off. I didn't know they were able to keep the samples or keep them good for that matter, where they're still able to test it. But I guess if they have to, there's a way.
Yep.
Well, urine doesn't go bad, so.
Yeah. It was awfully weird keeping that and just sort of chilling in someone's refrigerator for so long.
They have like a special refrigerator, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Like
Oh
special.
my god.
I wonder where they
Special.
things to think about.
Oh,
Well, maybe that's how I should start labeling my food at work so nobody steals my lunch.
Sammy's urine.
They'll be like, okay, this girl's crazy.
well,
We
I
already
can
knew that.
things about search and rescue stuff.
Guys, we have 2 more event finals to talk about.
Yes, let's talk about that. I'm so excited to talk about this. You seem excited, so go.
I'm excited about vault. I'm very excited about vault because Queen Simone, what? Super Simone. She's 3 for 3. 3
Yep.
down, 2 to go.
And she's got this. I'd be shocked if she didn't win a medal at either one of the ones she has left.
Yeah, I mean she'll definitely. Floor is in the bag, obviously.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
beam is going to be the hardest one. But with this 3rd gold for her today, she is tied for the most gold medals by an American gymnast in the Olympics, and she's tied with her teammates Allie and Gabby. They each have 3. She has the most golds of any gymnast in a single Olympics, and is looking to add on to that. And she has finally surpassed Shannon Miller as the most decorated gymnast of all time. So, I mean, that's a little for me. That's a little like makes me a little nostalgic because Shannon Miller is of my time. She was like,
yep, me too.
She was my favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
Like growing up, my middle name is Shannon. So my mom used to call me Colleen Shannon Miller, like to like sort of get me going. And Beam was always my favorite event. So I was like, oh, Shannon and I are like the same. So it's
Cold
a little
sisters.
like, yes, it makes me just a little bit sad that Shannon's record has finally been broken and not just tied like Nastya and what is her name? Alicia Sacramone tied the record. But Shannon, ever the gracious person that she is, has said before, you know, records are meant to be broken. So it doesn't make her sad or anything to think this person is breaking my record, how dare they? She's like, this is awesome. This is a great thing for the sport. It means that the sport is evolving. It means that we're getting better. So it's really exciting that Simone is making history for herself and for the sport and just breaking all of these records.
Yes, and you gotta remember, Shannon's a mom now, so she's probably also looking at it from a mom's point of view and being like, oh, she's like a little girl to me, and it's just like, oh, so I'm really happy. And she's right, records are meant to be broken, and I think if anyone was meant to break it, I think it was Simone, because she's having so much history, and they are very similar if you think about it. Because you're right. That's what I was trying to think. I'm like, Simone reminds me of someone, and you're right. It is Shannon Miller. She's just, both of them are amazing, and I would love to see them do some kind of gymnastics event together. I mean, obviously Shannon can't compete anymore, but maybe they could do like a little event or something together. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. So that was her vault medal finally, and she has medaled in the World Championships. Simone has on vault since 2013. But the gold medal had always eluded her. she finally upgraded her second vault from a Lopez, which is a round-off back handspring, half turn onto the vault, and then you block off and do a layout with a half twist. I have to use my hands to do this, obviously. And her second vault is now a Cheng, which is the round-off back handspring, half turn, 1.5 twist off. And that Cheng, well, that one and the one from prelims might possibly have been like the most beautiful vaults I've ever seen in my life. Like the one in prelims, she scored a 9-7 execution on, and I don't know where they got those deductions. I was saying it should be a 9-9. She took a small tiny hop, and then same with the one today. She got a 9.633 execution score for it. And it was like, where are you getting these deductions? She, again, had a little tiny, like, shuffle back. But it was more than enough to give her the gold. Yeah, she could have downgraded back to the Lopez for today and still won vault. That's, like, how far ahead she was. Maria Paseka of Russia got silver medal. A little bit of controversy there. She does not have the best form, but she does the same vaults as Simone, not as pretty. So she has a higher start value than Julia Steingruber of Switzerland, won Switzerland's first gymnastics medal, and it's super exciting because I've been watching Julia for probably 6 years or so, like, just grow through the ranks in senior elite. And as she's grown as a gymnast, like, her form has gotten better, her presence has gotten better, and she's always sort of made the vault finals and just been shy of the podium. But it was finally her time today, and she won that bronze medal for Switzerland, and it was really exciting to see so many new faces on the podium. I personally think Julia should have been in the silver position. She lost the silver medal by less than a tenth. And I think that Wang of China should have gotten bronze. Her vaults, she vaulted like third, I think, and she had 2 vaults that started both over a 6.0 start value. And she had good form, she had good landings, and I think she was sort of a victim of going early in the lineup. Which was
not a lot of distance, though. That's the thing. With her vaults, they were fairly close.
But I mean, yes and no. She was just as close as Paseka. I mean, I really think that Maria Paseka, she went second to last. She went right before Simone.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I will say, I will give her this credit. Paseka looked shocked that she medaled.
Yeah.
Shocked. She was like, are you kidding me? Also in vault, my all-time favorite, Oksana Chusovitina, was in the vault final. 41 years old, her 7th Olympics in a row. She made an event final. The last time she medaled in Olympics was 2008. She got a vault medal. She unveiled her Protonova vault. It was a front handspring double front. And she did not butt plant it. She just kept rolling. She roly-polied it, but she did not land it. She did not get a good score on that one, but she went for it, which is amazing because there are children. There are people literally half her age who don't do that vault, and she just started training it like last year. So she did a Protonova. Deepa Kramakar, am I saying that right? I don't know.
I think so.
Of India. She also did the Protonova, the Protonova, and it was the best I've seen from her. I still think they should have taken more of a deduction on the landing, but she came in 4th, which is really historic. She's the first Indian gymnast to ever make an event final, and then she placed 4th just off the podium. And Hong Eun-jong of North Korea debuted a triple twisting Yurchenko. It was not a triple twisting Yurchenko. It was like barely 2 3/4, plop to your butt. So it does not get to be named the Hong. She was only credited with the Aminar start value, so she didn't get credit for the triple twist. But props to her for throwing it, because she's been saying since 2008 that she was going to chuck this vault, and finally did it. And even Simone's coach, Amy Borman, has said if Hong throws that vault and lands on her feet, she deserves the gold medal, because Simone has done some into the pit, but is like, I don't feel like dying. So she's not training a triple twisting Yurchenko, even though she could do it easily.
Did you see Amy's
But I guess
about Julia?
No, I didn't. What happened?
So I don't know who was. I have to go back and look, but someone tweeted her about the vault podium, and she was like, "I'm so happy Julia got on the podium." It's rather adorable.
Oh, that's so cute.
I love Amy Borman. I think we need to become BFFs, and I need her to be my coaching mentor. Just throwing that out there. Little bit of news, since 2 people in this vault final did the Prudnova vault. For the next quad, and hopefully quads to come, that's quadrennium. That's like every 4 years they change the rules a little bit and change what's required by the gymnasts. But for the next quad, if you do not safely land the Prudnova vault, it will be devalued from a 7.0 start value to I think the front handspring front tuck is like a 4.
Wow.
So
Which
if you
I'm
don't,
glad.
oh yeah, it is not safe for these
Absolutely.
people to be throwing it.
No, definitely not. I'm glad they're doing that, but that's a really big deduction.
Yeah.
And I think
So
So
they better watch it.
Well, I think it was a really good thing that Deepa didn't medal, because I think I know she does it because she needs the money to get better training, but I think by throwing it and giving her a medal, it encourages people to throw it and ready to throw it.
Yeah, and that can cause a lot of problems, and that's not right. So I really wish she hadn't done that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been the gym internet has been saying for years she should not be doing this vault. I mean, I fear for her life and her knees. I mean, I think her knees are going to give out before her life, but it's scary to watch sometimes.
Oh, absolutely, and they're just giving other people ideas to try it,
because
and it's just going to cause a domino effect.
As much as Chusavitna, her vault, in the landing, was, I feel like, a little bit safer than Deepa's, because when she landed, she stayed in the squat position, and she was still bounding forward, so she just sort of, flipped onto her back. And what Deepa does is she, lands, and her heels dig into the ground, and her butt plants, and then she, pops right back up to standing, and it's so bad for your knee ligaments. That, I look at it,
I'm in pain listening to that.
To watch.
Yeah, I'm in pain just listening to you describe that. And my cat is too, apparently, as she jumps into the broadcast. Hi, Buffy.
Hi, kitty.
But we are almost out of time. Anyone have any last thoughts on what we're going to expect the next couple of days, or what has happened so far?
Well, let's touch on bars real quickly.
Yes, definitely. Yes, let's go into bars.
Mustafina won gold, Koshin won silver. It could have gone either way. They were less than a tenth apart. Mustafina had the higher start value. Koshin had the higher execution score. They were switching back and forth all week and tying with each other. So that's a little disappointing from the American side, but it's nice to see Mustafina defend her gold medal from London and retire on a major high. Sophie Schader of Germany won the bronze. She is the first uneven bars medal for Team Germany ever. They had, when it was just East Germany, 30 plus years ago, they'd won some medals and had some success, but first uneven bars medal for Germany. And heartbreaking, she beat her own teammate by 33 hundredths of a point.
That,
And
oh my gosh.
They So Elizabeth Seitz went up last and she did a good routine, obviously, because she was in the finals. And it was just like, this is going to be so close. One of these German gymnasts is going to get a medal and one of them isn't. And I almost wish that they would have given Seitz like 2 or 3 tenths, not less than a tenth difference. So that was really sad. Gabby had a little blip on the high bar starting out her routine and did not medal. She came in 7th place, again, just like in London. And it's just so frustrating because she'd done so well for her team in qualifications and team finals and got these amazing scores. And then to just it looked like just a little mental break in her. Like it had nothing to do with her abilities. She wasn't hurt. It was just, I think she sort of was thinking too far ahead and sort of got stuck in a handstand.
I think so too,
really
and
sad.
I worry about her.
Because
Yeah.
she could have had a medal, but she looked so happy and relieved after the bar final, and she was so happy for Madison and like hugging everyone and still all smiles, that I hope that she continues on. I think she will post Rio. I think gymnastics is just one of those things that she's always going to want to do. And Spiridonova, who was the reigning co-world champion with Koshin, and then Fanny Lind, who did not make the bar final, and Victoria Komova, who has retired. She's been struggling all year, basically since Worlds, for her bar routine, and fell apart and placed last in the bar final. So that was a little sad.
Poor thing.
But
I feel so bad for her. I mean, I
she
know obviously someone has to
looked
place
relieved,
last,
too.
but I know obviously someone has to place last, but it's got to be like the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, to be like the only one who really didn't hit.
Yeah.
But she did. Looking at her, like, interacting with everyone after the final, she looked relieved that it was over. That she was just sort of like, yeah, it's sad, but, I can breathe again, I can relax. So it's just got to be tough.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But only 2 more days of gymnastics left in the Olympics. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
I know,
Maybe
right?
I'll actually get some work done.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, yeah, I have like a bunch of cleaning that needs to be done, another bunch of other stuff that needs to be done for the site, and yeah, it's been neglected because I've been watching the Olympics. But at least I'll be able to sleep again. I've been staying up way too late and getting up way too early because I've been watching the Olympics. But hey, there are priorities in life, and the Olympics is one of them.
Yeah, so we have 2 days of events finals left. Tomorrow is men's rings and vault. There are no U.S. men competing, but women's beam with Simone going for her 4th gold medal, and Lori Hernandez pretty much a shoo-in for silver. Bronze is going to be a fight. And then on Tuesday, it's men's parallel bars and high bar and women's floor exercise. So Danelle Leyva is in both P-bars and high bar final. Sam Mikulik, I always get them confused. They're not even from the same country. Sam Mikulik is also in the high bar final, and obviously Simone will win the floor gold medal and Allie will get silver, and I don't even know who's going to get bronze. I don't even know who else is competing because it doesn't matter because they're the best and they're going to win.
Simone and Allie. I've been saying that all along. Yes, and yep. Unless there's some big epic failure, there's no way they're not medaling exactly like you said. Yeah. Gold for Simone, silver for Allie. There's no way that's not happening.
Yep. Yeah, they're just so far ahead of everyone.
Yeah, there's no way that's not happening, and there's no way that Simone's not medaling tomorrow either. It's just, I hope she packed a big suitcase to keep all these medals, and I mean, she's coming home with all this stuff. I'm so proud of her. I'm proud of her so much, yeah. And like I said, I'm new to the gymnastics scene, but still watching her is just it's inspiring to me. I'm 32 years old and I'm watching her and I'm like, she is so inspiring. She makes me want to be a better person. I think that says a lot about who she is as a person.
And I tweeted Amy Borman today after the vault final and asked her if they have any expectations for beam and floor. And she said, nope, they're just going to keep going normal like always. Just rolling with everything because it seems to work for them. So the U.S.'s big thing is normal. Like, they don't say, come on, you got it. They say, okay, Simone, normal. Simone, come on, Allie, normal. It's because they compete how they practice. So that's what Amy has said. That's what's going to happen. It's basically Simone's going to get 2 more gold medals.
Yeah, pretty much it all comes down to nothing else matters. It's all about our Simone. Too bad we could get her on my show, because I would love to have all of us talk to her. But someone want to tweet her and be like, "You want to be on Football in High Heels Presents?" Or Simone, if you're watching, we would love to have you as a guest.
She might be a little busy right now.
Just a little. Well, post Olympics, we could get her on and we could all chat together. That would be epic. Yeah. So are we going to do this again on Wednesday? Do you guys want? Or sometime the rest of the week, so we can discuss how the whole gymnastics thing ended?
Thursday would be better for me.
Thursday works, yes.
I'm trying to think. I can do Thursday, yeah.
I'm okay. So we're going to meet up again on Thursday and discuss everything that happened tomorrow and Tuesday with our gymnasts. I'm super, super excited to see what happens. Even though we know what's going to happen, just watching it is just going to be amazing, and I'm really, really stoked about it. I know you girls are, too. And we are out of time, and I do want to thank you ladies again for being on the show. And we need to find another sport to discuss, because I love having you on my show. Maybe Dancing with the Stars for me and Katrina. And do you watch any other sports, Colleen?
Do I watch any other sports?
Yeah, so well, we'll find a reason for you girls to come on. We could just randomly discuss gymnastics for absolutely no reason at all.
Yes. We can do all of the world meets. World Cups, and American Cups, and World Championships.
I am down for that. We can definitely do that, because I love having you ladies on the show. It's so much fun, and I've learned so much from you girls. I really, really appreciate you teaching me all of this. Like I said, I'm a sports newbie, which is why the site is and the show is about learning about sports, and I've learned a whole bunch from you, and I'm so, so thankful.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about the controversy going on in equestrian right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Messed up.
I think that's another broadcast we'll have to have you on. But I do want to thank you both for being on the show again, and I will see you again on Thursday. This has been Football in High Heels Presents. I'm Sammi. Thank you for tuning in, and bye.
Bye.